Okay, so let's dive in. Today we're looking at health supplements. Always a tricky area, right?
Definitely. So much out there, so many claims.
Exactly. And we're focusing on one product specifically, CELLFOOD. You might have seen it around.
hmm It's quite popular and not cheap either. American import.
Right. And the big question we're tackling is, is it this miracle supplement the marketing suggests, or maybe just an expensive bottle of not much?
Or maybe something else entirely. We're
Wow.
using Professor Lin's article as our guide here. The title's pretty direct. Cell food. It's a pity to throw away something that is useless, but is it harmful?
Yeah, it really sets the stage. So our mission today really is to try and cut through some of that marketing hype, use a bit of critical thinking, and help you understand what might be going on with products like this one.
And this whole thing actually kicked off because a listener, Mr. Leos, asked a really sharp question. He noticed there wasn't much reliable info on cell food out there. Info that wasn't just promotional material.
Right, just the ads and the company website, probably.
Exactly. He was wondering about the ingredients, safety, and he looked it up on PubMed, the scientific database. Found only 9 papers.
Only 9 for a popular product.
Yeah, and many were quite old. He suspected, probably rightly, that they might be industry-funded studies. It's a common issue people run into.
Okay, and this is where it gets, well, really interesting.
Hmm.
Professor Lin looked into those suspicions,
Yeah.
and Mr. Liu was onto something. Professor Lin found that one of those very few papers, one making some pretty big claims like cell food boosting radiotherapy or even being an anti-cancer treatment,
Okay.
it was retracted, pulled completely in 2021.
Retracted. Why?
The journal's statement cited image duplication and tampering in the article.
Wow. Okay, that's not just a small error. Image tampering means the data was likely faked or manipulated.
Right. It's a huge red flag.
Absolutely. It fundamentally undermines the study. And, if one of the main pieces of evidence supporting a product turns out to be fraudulent,
It makes you question everything else, doesn't it?
it certainly does.
Yeah.
You have to ask, what does that say about the other studies or the overall claims?
So, connecting this to the bigger picture,
Hmm.
what do major, independent medical institutions say? Do they weigh in?
Well, yes. And it's quite telling. Top places like Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, MSKCC, they've looked at cell food.
And their verdict?
Pretty clear. They state it has not been proven to treat or cure cancer, period.
Okay. So, despite the marketing claims.
Right. Despite claims about it being a free radical scavenger, detox aid, boosting athletic performance, fixing cellular oxygen deficiency for cancer, MSKCC points out that maybe some lab studies show antioxidant effects or kill some cancer cells in a dish.
Ah, the in the lab versus in humans distinction.
Exactly. Crucial difference. They emphasize these effects have not been proven in actual human beings.
Yeah.
And they add something important. Patients on chemo or radiation are often advised not to take antioxidant supplements.
Why is that? Seems counterintuitive.
Because those cancer treatments often work by creating oxidative stress to kill cancer cells. Antioxidants could potentially interfere with that, make the treatment less effective.
I see. So, taking antioxidants like cell food might even work against the treatment.
It's a serious concern highlighted by institutions like MSKCC.
Okay, so let's bring this home for you listening. What's the takeaway here, especially if you've thought about trying cell food, or maybe you even have some? What about safety?
Well, on the safety front, Professor Lin notes there aren't official, like FDA reports or scientific papers saying cell food itself is unsafe for general consumption.
So, no official red light from regulators.
Right. But, and this is a significant but, when you look at user experiences, say on Amazon reviews that Professor Lin mentioned, it's a different story.
Oh, what kind of things?
People reported side effects like heart palpitations, feeling like they couldn't breathe deeply.
Concerning symptoms.
And did they link it to the cell food? Reportedly, yes. They said these symptoms stopped when they stopped taking the product. So while there's no official condemnation, these personal accounts raise questions. Lack of formal warning isn't quite a guarantee of safety or suitability for everyone.
That's a really important distinction.
It really brings up a key question, doesn't it? When you see these health products, often with big claims and, frankly, big price tags, what kind of proof do you actually need?
Yeah, what's your standard of evidence?
This whole cell food situation, it just highlights how vital it is to look past the glossy marketing. You need to really scrutinize the science, or sometimes the lack of science, and recognize when evidence is weak Or, like in that retracted study, potentially fabricated.
It's about being a critical consumer, especially with health products. Thinking like a scientist, almost.
Exactly. Be vigilant. Think critically.
So perhaps the final thought for you is this. There's a big difference between claims designed to persuade you to buy something and scientific evidence designed to actually prove something
A
works.
crucial difference.
Recognizing that difference, spotting the signs of pseudoscience, like retracted studies or claims reputable institutions say are unproven, that's probably your best defense for staying informed and making genuinely smart health choices. What part of telling science from marketing stands out most to you after hearing all